Two sides of the same coin.
That podcast is weird.
Hello, and welcome to Two Sides of the Same Coin. I am your loony host, Noah Hewitt, and today we are talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Today I'm going to give you my prediction and review of the film. Yes, you heard me correctly, prediction and review. As I am speaking at the moment, I have not seen the movie yet, and I'm going to give my prediction of what I think is going to happen, mainly based off of guessing and what I see in the trailers. And then I'm going to go see the movie, and I'll give you my general review of whether or not I thought it was a good film. There may be a little spoilers, but I'll say how I like it, and then I might do spoilers after. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. But first, my prediction of the film. I have a general idea of what I think is going to happen. I mean, so in this movie, it's been like a year more since the events that happened in Into the Spider-Verse. So for those who are listening, you probably already know who Miles Morales is. He's the main character in both of these movies. So he's been Spider-Man for a while because Into the Spider-Verse set up him being Spider-Man. So this is, I guess, going to be about just him being Spider-Man. And like what I think it's going to tackle what it means to be Spider-Man in this film. Because I know the first one was like embracing who you are and not worrying about the expectations of others and just taking a leap of faith. So I'm curious to see what this movie's going to be about. But from what in the trailer that I've seen, so I'm assuming the main villain is going to be Spider-Man from like, I think 2042. I forget the exact year, but I know his name is Miguel O'Hara. We saw him in the post-credit scene of Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm not gonna lie, he looks a lot different. He looks a lot bigger. His costume looks more menacing, and I'm thinking from the events of Into the Spider-Verse to this movie, I think something happened to him. Because in the trailer he looked really depressed, so I'm assuming he might have lost a loved one or loved ones. And I have a theory that, like, since he's a lot bigger and he looks a lot more menacing, and even from like the shape of his teeth, I think he might have been injected with either a little bit of the Venom symbiote. I mean, there's nothing to really show that, but I know that when the next Spider-Verse movie was teased, like, Into the Spider-Verse came out 2018, so when it was teased in like 2019, the next Spider-Verse movie, I know that there was like a Venom teaser, at least in like the little tease image that we saw. So I don't know if that's going to be in this movie or the next. I'm not sure. But almost looks like Miguel O'Hara almost has like maybe vampire strength. I don't know. Because just from the sharpness of his teeth and like how aggressive he is and almost how strong he is, I don't know. I think something's up with him. He doesn't seem normal, especially compared to what we saw Into the Spider-Verse. Something majorly had to happen with him, I think, on a mental and a physical level. And for some reason, I'm not sure on the purpose, but he's made like a league of different Spider-Men from like all across the Spider-Verse. Not sure the whole reason of that. I mean, then again, what's the point of any superhero league but to save the universe and stand against it? But I Miguel almost seems like he's telling Miles in the trailer that he's not a true Spider-Man until he like makes a true sacrifice. It's like, because he keeps saying in the trailer, he's like, if you have the choice of saving like a bunch of people or one person you care about, which are you going to choose? Which it's basically saying that Miles didn't have his own like Uncle Ben moment like every Peter Parker has, which is not true because he um went through the thing with his like uncle, I think Derek, who was the Prowler, and he ended up losing him, and that ended up being foundational for being Spider-Man for him. So I don't know. It almost seems like, from what I got in the trailer, and this could be one. So it could be one of those trailers where it's giving you the entire plot, and just not a lot of details, or it's making you think that the story is going to be about one thing when it's about something completely else. I mean, I thought that with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I literally thought that evil Doctor Strange was going to be the main villain, and it turned out being Scarlet Witch. I don't know. But I know Miles is going to have to fight against all these different Spider-Man because they're going to make him choose whether to like save a bunch of people or one of his parents, it seems like. And then Gwen says something in the trailer like, I can't lose another friend. So that's almost teasing for me that she might make a sacrifice in this movie, which would be very sad, and I think a lot of fans would be upset. And as I am recording this, the movie's been out for like 2 days. I feel like I will have heard something by now if she did sacrifice herself. But I don't know. I don't know if I have many other predictions. I do know Peter B. Parker is going to be back in this film, and in the trailer it seemed like he and MJ ended up having kids. I do not think we're going to see any more of the characters from the previous Spider-Verse films, but I've definitely seen in the trailers like almost every type of Spider-Man, like from cartoons to comics. So I think it's gonna be an interesting film. I'm just not completely sure where the story's going to go, and I think the movie might just be about Miles making his own path compared to the other Spider-Men, because it almost seems like from the trailers like, oh, this is what being a Spider-Man is. You have to either do that or you can't be a true Spider-Man. And they might in their view not think Miles is a true Spider-Man and might try to force him to stop being Spider-Man. I'm not sure. All that I'm sure about is I think there's something definitely up with Miguel O'Hara. I think he lost his family or the people he cared about, because I know there was a girl who was talking to him at the end of Spider-Verse. I think he might have lost her. And yeah, I don't know. I think something has affected his mind and his body, because yeah, his suit looks a lot menacing, and even like it almost looks like he has like uh vampire effects to him. I'm not completely sure, but I'm not quite sure what else to expect in this movie. I mean, I know it's definitely going to probably end on a cliffhanger. Actually, that's what I think that was a spoiler that someone said to me, so that it might. I'm not completely sure how big of a cliffhanger it's going to be, but it has to end on a cliffhanger, especially since apparently this is part 1 of 2, because the next movie's gonna be Across the Spider-Verse Part 2. Which, why Part 2? Why not like Getting Out of the Spider-Verse or something? I'm not sure, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I don't know. I feel like Miguel O'Hara is like portrayed as the villain in the trailer, but I wonder if there's gonna be like a bigger villain. And I don't know. I'm curious to see if how fast the plot moves, because I mean I love Into the Spider-Verse and it has good soundtracks and wonderful characters, but almost for me I felt like it moved very slow, especially like with the other versions of Spider-Man. I felt like we barely got them. Granted, I don't know how much more you would do, but I'm curious to see if this movie would move really fast or really slow. I'm also curious to see if it has like another banger soundtrack, or if they're just using songs from the last one. Yeah, I don't know if there's really much more that I'm expecting from this film. I mean, I think it's gonna be great. I mean, this is my most anticipated movie of the year. I think the animation is probably going to be amazing. I've heard that it's almost better than the previous one. I mean, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best animated movies just because of the animation. Story is something to be desired, at least for me. Then again, I feel like I haven't really got a chance to appreciate the first Spider-Verse movie because I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it many years later, and I saw clips and a bunch of stuff, and it took a very long time for me to see it all the way through. But yeah, I'm excited to see Across the Spider-Verse, and I'm curious to see what happens next. And I will give you my review and 1, 2, 3. Wow. I will say, it was an amazing movie. I'm, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. Um, I'm just gonna get right into it. This might be the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. Um, if you have not seen this movie yet, what are you doing? It's I would say if you are a Spider-Man fan on any level, go see this film. There's something there for like every single Spider-Man fan. Um the story is amazing. The characters are amazing. You get to see so many different Spider-Men, and I loved every moment of it. The animation's phenomenal. They had a very low budget. It was like around 100 million, and honestly, I think the animation was revolutionary in my opinion. It was just, I mean, there's like a lot of well-known animated films that just cost like a whole lot of money to make, like a lot of Pixar films, and this movie did not take a lot of money to make, and it's just phenomenal. Um, yeah, I loved every moment of it. Um, if I'm going to count my change for this movie, I would say this movie is definitely I don't know. I don't want to say 80 cent. I would almost say 90 cent movie. I need to see it a second time. I tried to see it a second time, but that didn't end up happening. I ended up watching The Flash instead. But that's going to be next week's episode, so stay tuned. I'm trying to think. Yeah, this movie was just phenomenal. Oscar Isaac did an amazing job as Miguel O'Hara. I don't. He was portrayed as like the main antagonist in the trailers, and I don't know. In this movie, it's kind of weird because he has some of his high moments, and he has his low moments. I think for this film, I will say he's the main antagonist. I know the main antagonist for the next movie is definitely introduced, and you're not expecting how big this person is going to be as a villain. I'm not going to spoil that because I'm not going to spoil too much of this movie because, you just need to go see it. Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, as Spider-Gwen. Oh my goodness. It was just phenomenal, and she did a whole lot more in this movie than the last movie, which I love that they did that. And I mean, they kind of did this in the last movie, and they focused a little bit more in this movie. There is definitely romantic tension between Miles and Gwen, and I'm curious to see where that goes in the next movie. I would say only a few characters from the original film came back in this movie. I wish we got more of the characters from the last film, but that was okay. The jokes were phenomenal. The animation was phenomenal again. So many different references to so many different Spider-Men. I'm trying to. I really want to spoil some of those references. Actually, no. There's one, and this is not a big spoiler, so I'm just gonna say it. Spectacular Spider-Man is referenced in this movie, and I love Spectacular Spider-Man. If you don't know what that is, it was one of the animated series of Spider-Man. I think it was owned by Warner Bros. At the time, because I remember watching it on Kids WB on Saturday morning cartoons, which no longer exist, which makes me sad. But no, Spectacular Spider-Man. I mean, I'm telling you, this movie almost references every kind of Spider-Man you can think of. It was just amazing. It's hard to say how I feel about this movie. I mean, I laughed, I cried, it moved me, Bob. It was so good. And I think it's definitely gonna go get Oscar nominated. If it doesn't, then people are dumb. I definitely think it might win Best Animated Movie in the Oscars. I mean, I think it's up there running as for Best Picture too. And if it doesn't get up there, I'd be surprised because I've seen a bunch of movies so far this year. This is one that I really like. I mean, if I were going to say what movies I loved out in 2023, I would say Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Dungeons and Dragons. That movie is phenomenal. Available on Paramount Plus right now. If you haven't seen it, go watch that movie. It did not get enough love, and it needs more love. And especially if you play D&D, you will love that movie. And also like John Wick. I did like John Wick. I mean, it might not been as good as some of the other films. Ant-Man Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania was okay. I think I saw something else, but yeah, I don't know. I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse might be the best thing I've seen this year, and it was definitely the most anticipated movie I was looking forward to watch. Next is Indiana Jones, and I'm hoping not to be disappointed, because I love Indiana Jones. But I'm trying to think, what else do I want to say about this movie? It was just, yeah, it was just great. Oh, I made some I almost forgot about the predictions. I will say I'm recording this a couple weeks after I record the predictions, just because I've been really busy, and I also really tried to go see the film a second time before recording this part, but it unfortunately didn't happen. I will say I was correct that Miguel O'Hara is a vampire. It doesn't really go too much into that. I wish it did. I mean, I do think that affects how he is as a character, and maybe why he is kind of antagonistic in this film. I have a spoiler I'm going to share, and this is a pretty big spoiler for those who haven't seen it. So, for people who have not seen this film, go watch it. Amazing film. Totally recommend. Definitely like a 9 out of 10. If I watch it again, it might be a 10 out of 10. That's all I gotta say about that. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. I warned you 3 times, and if you hear the spoiler and you haven't seen the movie, it's your fault. Towards the end, Miles travels to another universe by mistake, and he meets himself, but as the Prowler. Now, that's how the movie ends. It ends as a cliffhanger. Big surprise. Everyone knew this was going to be a part 1. Everyone thinks that he is going to be like one of the main villains in the next movie. I disagree. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people know the Prowler to be like a villain, but the thing is, in some things that I've seen or read with the Prowler, he's kind of an anti-hero, just like Black Cat can be sometimes. And the thing is, people are like, well, he captured our Miles. I'm like, well, he might not know about all the multiverse stuff. So honestly, he could be he could still be the hero. I'm I yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um yeah. I my prediction for the next movie is that Miles as the Prowler is not evil, as many people are saying. And that's all I really got to say about this movie. I mean, if you want me to do an in-depth review, I will definitely do. And I think there's a few friends who would definitely want to hop on with me and talk about this movie, because it was just it was just phenomenal. And I will probably you know what, when this movie comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to do an in-depth review and just like break apart the movie, because it's amazing. I'm definitely going to do that at some point. And if I forget, listeners, please get on me about that. But yeah, thank you for listening for Two Sides of the Same Coin. If you'd like to keep up on about this podcast, see some weird pictures I post, see clips that I have not posted yet on Instagram, I'm need to get on myself about that and start making clips of the episodes. If anyone's interested in making clips for me, please let me know at twosidesofthesamecoinpod@gmail.com. That would be greatly appreciated. If not, I can just find the time. But if you have any suggestions, feedback, or you just want me to talk about something else, message me on Instagram, reach out at Gmail, go see this movie. Yeah. I need to see it again. I definitely do. And it's doing phenomenal in the box office right now, at least in my opinion. Maybe that's not truly the case. I need to see it again. I keep saying that, but it might be my favorite Spider-Man movie. It really might. It was just so much Spider-Man, and it made me happy. And the animation and the humor and just everything was great. Yeah. I've been your spectacular Spider-Man, and this has been Two Sides of the Same Coin, and you ate my enchilada. Oh wow, that was like, I just realized there were enchiladas in this movie. Mind blown. Spectacular Spider-Man.
Falling through the night, facing evil with his might. He's the headlights